Hi everyone, and happy Friday. Welcome to WCNC Live Weather Impact right here on WCNC Plus. I'm meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about. But first, I do want to talk about how today was up in the mountains. Of course, we saw some fresh man-made snow. That's at Beach and Sugar Mountain. They also have been taking advantage of all the cold air that we've been seeing over the past few days and weeks. And so they've been making a lot of snow themselves. Remember, they have snow machines that they use the wet bulb globe temperature in order to make their own snow, similar to what a lot of countries have to do if they host the Winter Olympics and aren't in an area that typically sees snow. So it's a really interesting process. If you are interested, I did a story on this a few years ago. It is on WCNC Plus and over on our WCNC Weather IQ YouTube page if you're interested in checking it out. But today it was very chilly, of course, up in the mountains. We even had some reports of grapple in places like Hickory up toward Mooresville area in Iredell County. More of a softer kind of I guess oftentimes we refer to it as like Dippin' Dots in the sky. It's caused by super cooled water droplets that essentially accumulate on each other. However, here in the Charlotte area, of course, nothing, and we weren't expecting anything at all. Here's the snow potential up in the mountains this weekend. There will be a small little clipper system working through the mountains on Sunday morning, which will allow for a little bit of snow accumulation. However, it's part of a much larger storm system that is causing some major issues for us here in most of the Carolinas by Sunday night and Monday morning. So thankfully here on Live Weather Impact, we have a ton of time to break it all down. Overnight temperatures in the Charlotte area will be right around 30 degrees because now we have clearing skies, meaning that we have time to cool down. We have a lighter wind, which allows for cold air to settle closer to the ground. Plus, with clear skies, all of that radiation from the day is able to be released. Unfortunately for the mountains, or I guess really fortunately for the mountains, because they have clouds around, they'll actually be a bit warmer than they have been. So most areas in those mountain communities will be in the upper 20s, so very similar to what we're seeing here. So right now there's a stalled cold front across the area, but that is going to be moving out, and of course with it comes a very, very nice day tomorrow. So current temperatures are at 45 in Charlotte. We have 30s and 20s up in the mountains, but tonight, again, there's that drop off I just mentioned, but we go from 30 to a really substantial rise. In fact, tomorrow afternoon's highs have a 30-degree temperature warm up from 30, soaring all the way to 60 degrees. So I'm going to step off for a second so you can enjoy the view, especially on Saturday. Now, Sunday, this is when things start to get a bit interesting. So Sunday is going to be a very atypical day. So certainly an anomaly kind of day. We will see our warmest temperature on Sunday at 12:01 a.m. The coldest temperature we will see for the entire day will be at 11:59 p.m. And the reason why is with this system passing by and the timing that it does, we'll see temperatures drop throughout the day instead of warm. So likely some of our warmest temps will be in the morning. Now, this is where it gets complicated from a meteorologist perspective, because when we put these temperature maps together normally, lows are the coldest temperatures of the day and highs are the warmest. But when it's an atypical day like this, we normally try to classify this as morning versus afternoon, because that's what people normally look for, the morning and the afternoon temperature. So we'll be about 47 degrees around 7 a.m., but in the afternoon, when we're normally at our peak around 3 p.m., that temperature is closer to 40. And that's just the air temperature. It's going to feel even colder. So let's break down the Futurecast feels like temperature. Here we are 6 a.m. feeling like 40 in Charlotte, 30s in the foothills, already feeling like the teens in the mountains. By Sunday at 6 p.m., we'll be feeling closer to 20 in Charlotte, single digits up in the mountains in places like Wilkes County up toward Mount Airy. In the higher elevation spots in the mountains, about 5 to 15 degrees below zero. And then even across the I-40 corridor, we're talking lower teens. It only gets colder. I think we're going to bottom out between midnight and 3 a.m. Monday morning, with some spots across the Piedmont, including Charlotte, feeling like the single digits. Mountain communities, again, we'll be looking at the teens for the foothills and the mountains at slower elevations, and then that's really going to be the worst wind and temperature combination for those Ashwaubenon, Avery County communities, as across the board, they'll be feeling, again, 5 to 15 degrees below zero. And if they're seeing that in places like Boone and Jefferson, I want folks to be mindful that if you're at higher elevation spots like Beach, Sugar Mountain, Grandfather Mountain, Blowing Rock, Banner Elk, that could be closer to 20 to 30 below zero. And this is no joke. Even Monday afternoon, the feels like temperature at a maximum will be freezing. So again, it's cold most of the day Monday. It's just that the really, really cold air is primarily Sunday night and into Monday morning. So low temperatures in the teens in Charlotte. Wind chills even colder, most spots in the single digits. This is not just an Arctic blast because we're not often this cold this time of year, but this could be the coldest temperature we saw all of 2025, meaning it could be the coldest since late 2024, if not even going all the way back into 2023. So it could be the coldest air we've seen in 2 years. Now, limiting time outside, avoiding exposed skin is important no matter where you are across the Carolinas because this is abnormal for us. But the mountain communities, anytime you see that temperature feels like below zero, that's where you could start to see issues eventually with prolonged exposure of hypothermia and frostbite. So please, if you're in those mountain communities, Ash, Watauga, Avery County, please make sure you're especially keeping a close eye on yourself, your neighbors, checking on the elderly, and of course, this is for everybody. We got to make sure we're protecting our pets, right? If you have pets who are outside, they for sure have to come inside the next few days. If you're familiar with the 1, 2, and 3 dog nights, this is an old saying for measuring how cold it was based on how many dogs you needed in your bed. This is a 3 dog night, if not a 4 to 5 dog night by a landslide across the board. But as we look at prolonged temperatures, yes, it's been a very cold December so far. That looks like it's going to change. In fact, by the end of the month, not just the 18th to the 22nd, but long range temperatures too, closer to Christmas time, do look to trend above average. Now, this time of year, or really any time of year, anything past that 7-day forecast is kind of 50-50 when it comes to temperatures. The exact numbers are hard because at that point we know whether we're trending colder or trending warmer, but you can't give specifics. That's why right now on December 12th, I can't tell you with a guarantee it's going to be 60 degrees, right, on Christmas Day, but I can tell you that we're trending above average. So when you look at these average temperatures of 53 and 33, we know that we're across the board trending above average. So I'm hopeful that the air temperature by Christmas time will be closer to 60. So here's your hourly forecast for tomorrow. A fantastic day to get outside, tons of sunshine, winds not too bad. We'll start to see them increase throughout the afternoon, but I mean a high of 60, what could be better than that? And then I think Sunday looks just a little bit different as those temperatures will very, very quickly drop from the upper 40s in the morning to feeling like 23 degrees by 7 o'clock. Again, that's a very good way to see that temperature drop throughout the day. So here's your Jerry Hunt Super Center 7-day forecast. Again, Sunday, Monday, really interesting days here in the Charlotte area. Sunday temperatures are dropping throughout the day. We have dangerous wind chills by the afternoon and evening, and then that continues most of the day Monday until a pretty substantial warm up by the end of the week. I hope everybody has a happy, safe, and healthy weekend, and please make sure folks are staying weather alert Sunday night and Monday.